I can't believe Caden didn't make it. How could we just leave him down there?
He was a good soldier, and at the end of the day, we got overrun, and we could only help one of you.
Alenko knew the risks going in. He gave his life to save the rest of us.
It should have been me, Commander. You know that.
Now, don't blame yourself.
It wasn't your call, Williams. I had to choose. I chose you.
I'm sorry, Commander. You saved my life. I'm grateful for that. But it should have been me. Alenko was a superior officer. I would have gladly stayed behind.
Now, come on. Don't sacrifice yourself.
Ash, how far are you going to drive yourself? Are you trying to be a martyr? To redeem your grandfather's honor?
That's not fair.
That is a little far, Shepard. That got pretty personal, but at the same time, I mean, it's deep stuff. I mean, Caden was down there when the explosive went off. So, well, I think it's pretty safe to say he is not coming back. And, well, in that case, we need all the help we can get here. We need all of our allies.
What the public and the military did to him was unfair. But I don't want to lose a good soldier over it.
Aye, Commander.
Commander, excuse me for interrupting, but I have an idea. I think the beacon you found in Saren's base was similar to the one you found on Eden Prime. It may have filled in the missing pieces of your vision. I might be able to help you put all those pieces together.
Okay, does this mean we're gonna do another one of the freaky mind melds? Alright, let's do it.
You want to join our minds again, don't you? Okay, go ahead.
Relax, Commander. Embrace eternity. I never thought the images would be so intense. I need a moment to collect myself.
Yeah, that's some important stuff right there.
Did the vision make any sense to you?
It's a distress call. A message sent out across the Prothean Empire. A warning against the Reapers, but the warning came too late.
Okay. Can we learn anything from this warning, though?
What about the conduit?
There were other images. Locations, places I recognize from my research. Ilos! The conduit is on Ilos! That is why Saren needed to find the Mu relay. It is the only way to get to Ilos.
Okay. Okay, I mean, you never mentioned this, but this sounds crucially important.
How come you never told us about Ilos before?
The Mu relay links to dozens of systems and hundreds of worlds. How was I to know Ilos was the one we wanted? Without the cipher, the images in your visions were never clear. Only now do I recognize them as landmarks from Ilos.
Alright, sounds like we've got our next place to go then.
We need to get to Ilos.
Forget it. The Mu relay's inside the Terminus systems. Alliance ships are not welcome there. Neither are Spectres.
Oh, we'll just be careful, you know? We'll be fine.
The conduit's on Ilos, and that's where Saren is heading. I'll be waiting for him when he gets there.
Saren will have his entire fleet orbiting Ilos. You will never make it down to the surface without reinforcements. You must alert the Council. We need a fleet to... I am sorry. The joining is exhausting. I should go to the medical bay and lie down for a moment.
You doing okay?
Dr. Chakwas should take a look at you.
That will not be necessary. I just need some rest. Somewhere quiet.
Alright, okay. In that case...
We're done here. Dismissed.
Rest up.
Commander, there's a convoy nearby. I can link us in if you want to report back to the Citadel Council. You know, to warn them about Sovereign.
Okay, I suppose we'll give it a shot. Not sure what their reaction is going to be, of course.
Set the link up, Joker. They need to know.
Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, I'm pleased to see your mission on Vermar was a success.
Success, I
formidable
suppose?
enough without an army of Krogan serving under him.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, there's, like, potentially a much bigger problem.
The Krogan would have served Sovereign, a Reaper.
Yes, we saw mention of this on your report. Sovereign, Ascension machine, a true artificial intelligence. This news is quite alarming, if it turns out to be accurate.
Oh, so, yeah, you know, you're doubting us again, aren't you?
Sovereign's a Reaper. Saren admitted it.
He's playing you, Shepard. Saren still has contacts on the Citadel. He probably saw your earlier reports, the ones talking about your vision and the Reapers.
It's highly possible Saren is using false information to throw you off balance. Our own intelligence has never turned up any corroborating information.
So you need proof?
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to take something I say on faith, Counselor.
Try to see this from our perspective, Commander. Saren is a threat we can recognize. However, as far as we know, the Reapers only exist in your visions.
Sovereign.
Our decisions affect trillions of
You've seen
lives.
Sovereign?
We cannot act on the accusations of a single person, even a Spectre. Not without solid evidence.
The Council cannot take any official action here. That is why we created the Spectres. You have the authority to act as you see fit.
If you truly believe Sovereign is the real threat, you must take whatever steps are necessary to stop it. And Saren.
Good luck, Commander. From all of us.
Okay, I suppose a little bit more supportive there, even if they're still a little doubtful of the Reapers may or may not exist thing, but they did give us the thumbs up saying, hey, if you think Sovereign's the real issue, then go out, go get him. Okay, but a lot of updates here. So we have leveled up, or at least did level up partway through that end encounter there. And so I think, what were we trying to do? I think we were trying to go all the way through to the end of Barrier here. If we can get up to level 60, then in theory, that would suggest we could get to Master Barrier, which would be kind of nice. Because we've started to use this a little more regularly, now that we're running into some particularly powerful enemies, like those Geth Ghosts, the really strong hoppers with the super powerful assassination ability. That, I think that's helpful to have the additional barrier for if/when we happen to get hit by one of those, otherwise we could very well go down. Then, we have a new main mission after having finished Virmire. Race Against Time, Sovereign. We've discovered that the real enemy is not Saren, but a Reaper called Sovereign, a sapient warship of tremendous power. Sovereign is using Saren as a tool to find the conduit, the key to unleashing a new Reaper invasion on the galaxy. Yeah, that sounds bad. We still have one other quest, side quest that is, remaining. So we will probably be looking to do that as well. Oh, let's actually check what this says here. Report to the Council to warn them of Sovereign's planning to attack the Citadel. I mean, we have just done that, so I'm thinking that maybe just hasn't quite updated yet. Okay. So now, what I'd like to do is let's head down, because at least in theory, we should find that we have several updates that we can hear from our teammates after that being a main quest mission. Presumably they have more stuff to say to us. And we may also now find that the level 10 Spectre gear may be available to us, because I think, because there's no more rich achievement, that it is now available starting when you finish Virmire, and obviously we just did that. And so, well, of course, previously, this was Caden's spot, but, well, he's, not here anymore, and I think you know why. So let's head on down to the bottom level in that case. Okay, and, let's maybe talk to the Alliance Requisition Officer first, just because I want to confirm
Looking for supplies?
as to whether we actually
Let's see what you've got.
can get that
bet,
big gear
Commander.
now. Let's see. Ooh, this is the best human armor for us. And then, no. Interestingly, still level 7 Spectre here. Now, it may be that we need to do a mission or two in order for him to restock his inventory, because he doesn't restock after every mission. I would have thought that after the main quest, he would automatically do it, so I was hoping that we would immediately have access to the best Spectre gear, but it's not looking like it here. So that's a little concerning, because since he only restocks after every several missions, and we have just one, maybe two side missions left before heading over to Ilos, we're getting close to the end of the game here, and may not have much time left to pick up additional gear. And especially if, you know, I think he's only ever going to sell one set of level 10 Spectre gear at a time. So in many ways, at least when it comes to maximizing the Spectre gear, it actually would be preferable to go Vermeer a little bit on the earlier side, assuming that this is actually the way that you unlock it in Legendary Edition, which I thought it was. Do Vermeer a little bit earlier so you get access to level 10 Spectre gear earlier in the game, and then, as soon as you can, start buying the Spectre gear, do some side missions, and as you do so, eventually, they'll restock, and then you can buy another round of the level 10 Spectre gear, because, you know, you'd like to have several copies of the best weapons in the game. Of course, you know, we as a Sentinel only have pistols training, so at least for us personally, we only really need the pistol, whereas, you know, like, let's say, depending on our team composition, I suppose there could be a situation in which we more or less have everyone just taking, or only needing, or not really needing an additional copy of any of the level 10 Spectre gear weapons, because if we take the pistol, then let's say we take Tally. She's trained on pistol and shotgun, so maybe you just give her the Spectre shotgun, and then take Garrus, for example, who's trained on assault rifles and sniper rifles, so you give him the Spectre assault rifle and sniper rifle, and then, sure, Tally doesn't have a Spectre pistol as a secondary weapon, but other than that, you basically have everyone using the best possible weapons for their gear. Let's just double check here. I know we had Colossus on Shepard at the moment, but was it Colossus 9? I thought it might have been. It is Colossus 9, not Colossus 10. So that does mean that this armor that the Alliance Requisition Officer is selling here is an upgrade for us.
You bet, Commander.
And we'll, hold on, would be the best armor in the game. Oh yeah, I suppose we can compare here. So you see slightly more damage protection, bit more tech biotic protection as well, but the biggest difference is in the shields. You get 30 more of those. I mean, it's not huge by any means, but it is better, and it is, I don't think it really gets any better than this, at least obviously not from a Colossus standpoint, because it doesn't go any higher than 10. I think we were looking at previously how there's some other pieces of gear that have lower damage protection and lower shields, but higher tech biotic protection. And so if we wanted to prioritize tech biotic protection, that theoretically could be an option for us, but I think we'll take this. And it is expensive, of course, but then again, we have a bunch of monies. All right, let's chat with our team here.
Commander, I wanted to thank you.
And we have...
I don't have time for this.
Sorry.
Goodbye, Commander.
Oh. Sorry, Garrus, we have heard this several times previously. Just want to see if anyone has anything new to say after, of course, completing Vermeer.
Commander, things got heated back on Vermeer.
That they did.
You did what you had to do. I respect your choice.
And, see, the thing is, like, Saren came up with a cure for the whole disease that is dooming your entire species. And then we blew up that base, and now said cure no longer exists, so, like, sorry?
I appreciate what you did, Rex. I won't forget it.
Just make sure it was worth it. Saren has to pay for what he's done.
Agreed.
We'll have him soon enough. Then he can answer for his crimes.
He'll do more than just answer if I have anything to say about it.
Oh, okay. That's one way to put it, I suppose. I think that's everything from Rex, though.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
And you may have noticed we've got some people down here that may look familiar to you. Commander Rentola?
You have my gratitude, Commander. Most people would have left our team behind. The captain considers the mission a success. I defer to his judgment.
Oh, we could actually still trade with you here.
Let me see what you have.
And we shall see. We can get another Metagel upgrade, which definitely that is worth doing. Increase our maximum Metagel. Other than that, we have some level 10 gear that is not particularly good, and especially after getting a bunch of great biotic amps. I think the Unity amp is no longer terribly necessary. Don't need the Serta license, nor do we need the Ariake license either. Those are, in this case, bad manufacturers, or in this case, not good manufacturers. So that being said, we did pick up a ton of stuff recently, so it may make some sense to sell a little bit here. And because we actually have spent some money now, there is actually some reason to sell stuff at the moment. Yeah, we got a lot of like level 9 weapons. I think at this point it's pretty safe to say we can more or less get rid of all of them. Oh. Well, this is... that's buyback. That's the wrong one. Oh, no. Oh, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. Hold on. Don't buy them back. I want to get rid of them. I want to get rid of them. That explains why there's a bunch of level 9 stuff. I mean, well, now we're going to have that level 9 stuff. But, one moment here. One moment, please, while we sell our level 9 sniper rifles, assault rifles, and shotguns. Maybe hold on to get pulse rifle just because it's so rare. And it is theoretically quite strong. And the Rosenkopf stuff is also quite good as well, so might hold on to some of those just in case, although I'm not sure we need 3 here, because I know we at least have a level 10 Karpov. Then... okay, Omni Tools, we haven't really checked that very closely recently, so I'm not entirely sure. That item contains upgrades? Really? Apparently we swapped this off of somebody? But, I think we should probably still be okay to sell that stuff. Presumably it's nothing that good. That was not a very high level, or it was a level, what, 8 item or something like that? Let's keep the frictionless materials, just because those are hard to find, and then Inferno rounds, level 8. It's pretty safe to sell. And then at this point, we are just about at the, oh, actually, those amps are not terrible. Might want to hold on to one of those. But, although we have gotten enough good ones at this point that maybe that's not totally necessary. But, you know, we sell, like, one of these things here, and we should be more or less at maximum monies. Probably don't need this many medical interface 7s, even if we are keen on using those upgrades, or even lower shield modulator. Huzzah. Okay, maximum monies. So that was Commander Rentola. We're just buying and selling with him for the most part. But we have Captain Kirhi as well, who, of course, was the person leading the Solarian team, who was with Ashley for much of the Virmire mission.
It was an honor working with you, Commander Shepard. Despite the losses, our mission was a success. Lieutenant Alenko's actions will not go unnoticed. His sacrifice has earned humanity a great deal of respect from my people.
We'll miss him, for sure. But, he made a big contribution, for sure.
Kaidan was a fine officer. He knew what the risks were, but he did what he had to.
Of course. The grim reality that every soldier must accept. Rest assured, Commander, my men and I will not forget what you have accomplished here. We will leave your ship as soon as you reach your next destination. Perhaps we will have the opportunity to work together again someday.
So, let's talk a little bit about some of the big things that happen on Virmire and what some of the potential outcomes could be, depending on what else you chose to do. And so, spoilers for some potential alternative things here, but now that we've finished Virmire, at least with our playthrough, you know, I think it's safe to proceed with said discussion. But so, of course, as we were talking about with Kaidan before, depending on who you choose to save, one of your 2 squad members will live, the other one will die, and will no longer, well, a squad member for the rest of the game, because they're dead, like, permanently. So, that means we will not be seeing any more of Kaidan. He has, as we were just saying, made a very noble sacrifice doing what he had to do to make sure that the explosive went off to destroy Saren's base. And so for, I think, all of my previous Mass Effect 1 playthroughs, I have actually saved Kaidan, and Ashley has been the person who's gotten sacrificed. And so for that reason, I wanted to make sure that I chose to save Ashley this time around. So that's actually new to me. This will be my first time having Ashley for the remainder of the game. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, like I said, also, I think for all my other games, I had stuck with the person who was at the bomb site, who, again, previously was always Kaidan. And so I had never gone all the way up to that second AA tower. And so the layout and the enemies that you face does technically differ a little bit. And actually, the actual fight with Saren, I think, was different as well, in the way that there were sort of waves of Geth that went along with him. Although, the using the stasis to freeze him for extended periods of time did kind of turn the boss fight into, well, very, very easy encounter. But the other thing is that, of course, Captain Kirrahe, we did get all of the assignments to help him out, and here we see we've now completed that stuff, of course, now that we're off of Virmire, and Captain Kirrahe's team has been rescued. The Solarians paid a terrible price during the assault, but we were able to rescue Captain Kirrahe and a few of his men before leaving Virmire. And so, that is not guaranteed. So, you may remember how we had a bunch of different things that we did, you know, destroying satellite uplinks and disrupting comms arrays and what have you for the Geth. But the most important thing, and I mentioned this at the time, but the most important thing is that you destroy the flyers, the drones that were off to the side before we head into the actual base. And what happens is that if you don't destroy those before you even start walking toward the base, you will get a message on your comms that basically is someone saying that Captain Kirrahe is, well, dying. And so the fate of Captain Kirrahe is dependent upon you completing that little area where you destroy all of those drones before you progress any further. So that's why that's so important. So that's that. And as Kirrahe also just mentioned, they will leave this area. They will no longer be on our ship the next time we head over to really anywhere else. So make sure that as soon as you finish Virmire, you make a point of coming down here to talk to them. Obviously, we had the heated discussion we were just talking about recently with Rex, in which if things did not go as planned, then either we would have shot him, or Ashley would have shot him, and he would have been permanently dead, because the ways that you can work around that are if you have completed his side quest for his family armor, which was, again, why previously I was saying how that's so important, or if you can pass a charm or intimidate check to talk him out of it, but that is a fairly difficult charm/intimidate check at that. And so, for those reasons, you can bind, or alternatively, technically speaking, if you only have Rex, who would it be? Rex, Tali, and the two humans, Ashley and Kaidan, if those are the only people in your party when you go to Virmire, then technically Rex will stand down and be like, okay, I guess I won't be too concerned about this after all. And the reason for that is because, as you now know, at the end of Virmire, one of your squad mates is going to die. And so if Ashley/Kaidan, one of them dies, and then Rex also dies, then suddenly you're left with only, what would it be? Tali and, I guess, one of your other humans. Although I suppose that's still 3 people. Is Tali absolutely a request? Maybe Tali's... There's no way to avoid recruiting Tali, although maybe I'm wrong. Not that you'd ever really want to. But basically, it's just a way of the game forcing you to have enough party members to actually complete the rest of the game. Otherwise, you could be in a little bit of trouble there. Other thing is, when Kaidan dies, you do not get his gear back, and you don't have access to his locker anymore, so gear that he had on him at the time is permanently lost, and so, well, that is one of the reasons why I deliberately did not put on one of our super level 10 Savant amps on him. Otherwise we would have lost it almost as soon as we got it. That would not have felt good. So let's talk with Tally next, see if she has anything new to say, and then we'll talk to Ashley, see if she has anything new to say. Post Vermeer.
Hey, Shepard. You need something?
Doesn't seem like it from Tally.
See you later.
But I think previously, Hayden and Ashley were typically the people that had the most direct response specifically to the main quest missions that we just completed.
Commander?
Yeah, and we can bring up Caden as well. Alright, I mean, it's gonna be a bit of a touchy subject, but I suppose let's go for it.
About Lieutenant Alenko. How are you holding up?
Can't say I'm better. Sorry for anything I said back there. I don't want any deaths on my hands, and it's my fault.
It is not, though.
Williams, listen to me. I'm in command of this mission. I made the call, not you. He's dead because of me.
It's funny. I don't have any fear of dying for the Alliance. But when I think of someone dying for me, if you don't mind my asking, how did you deal with the losses on Elysium?
And so this is what, in response to technically our background, but in which we fought in the, I think it's the one that we chose. We fought in the Skillian Blitz, which was basically just a significant battle in which we might have been the only person who survived.
It was my job to get everyone out safe. I failed. I vowed not to let that happen again. Same here. I'll remember him, and I'll do better for him.
Yeah. I guess that's all we can do. Thanks for the advice, Skipper.
Alright, so that's the Caden topic, but then, what about the previous mission more generally?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
We've got a hard fight ahead. Fleets of AI dreadnoughts who've exterminated all life dozens of times over. I think the odds are against us.
Yeah, that may be, but we have a better understanding of what we're going up against here, I suppose. Better that than be totally surprised by, oh hey, by the way, Sovereign is a Reaper, in case you didn't know, and then we just get squashed like a bug.
We have an advantage. We know they're coming, and we know about their indoctrination.
I don't plan to lie down and die, Skipper. Don't worry about that. But I'm infantry. Against Reapers, my rifle may as well fire spitballs. I won't have a place in this war. That's what pisses me off, not being able to shoot back.
We'll have our chance, I'm sure. Just you wait. We'll fight back. Let's see, and again, this is generally more so the personal talk of the relationship developing variety, which, again, my top priority is basically don't romance Liara, and then as to whether we actually end up romancing Ashley or end up with the no romance, then I'm kind of indifferent there. Just don't really want to romance Liara after accidentally romancing her on my previous playthrough, so maybe leave it at this.
Sir.
Okay. So, that is everything from the crew down here. Let's head back up. And I'm actually kind of curious. I mean, for the most part, Dr. Chakwas does not ever have much of anything new to say to us, except for at the very beginning.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
But I think we've heard all this.
Enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me.
Definitely not in response to this previous mission.
I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Have we heard that, though? I thought I remembered that previously when we spoke to her, we just had the option to investigate a few things.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth. Or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Okay.
I should go.
Goodbye.
Leave it at that. Then I would say we try to debrief with Liara, but then again, gotta be super careful when talking to her, because for all I know at this point, we have already accidentally locked in a romance with her. So let's not take that any further, just in case we are not yet at that threshold and we may accidentally cross it by talking to her again. And one other person we have remaining here, of course, who is a more significant crew member. Sorry, Presley, you don't meet the criteria. Would be Joker. And he may not have anything in response to the previous mission,
Commander,
but let's make sure.
I know it couldn't have been easy for you down there. Making the call between Alenko and Williams must have been... I'm sorry, sir. I don't know if I could have done it.
Well, it's the kind of thing that, you know, you don't wish on anybody.
There is no right choice for something like that. I just hope I never have to go through it again.
No, I'm not blaming you, Commander. I'm just... I mean, it's hard, you know?
You're right. But how are you holding up?
Saren's still out there, Joker. Hold it together. We need you.
Don't worry, I won't let you down. I want to be there when you make that son of a bitch pay.
Alright. So that's Joker's perspective. And I'm thinking what we do now is, so we take another quick look at our journal here to see what we have left. The answer is basically just besieged base, which was, of course, that mission that we attempted previously, where there were all those scientists who got captured by some rogue biotics, and we had to try to spare as many of them as possible. We tried to spare all of them, but at best, we had one of them die, and at worst, much worse than that. But I was thinking that, you know, obviously we didn't actually finish it, or at least we tried it several times, but I was thinking that we would come back to it on a later occasion and then see if we could have better luck with a second attempt. So that may be in the cards here. Otherwise, there's one more thing that I was thinking we might want to do, and that is head over to the Citadel to see if we might be able to find the Alliance, not Alliance Requisition Officer, but just CSEC Requisition Officer there. Maybe he has the level 10 Inspector gear at this point, even if the Alliance Requisition Officer in Normandy does not.
I forwarded the mission update to the Citadel, Commander. We got confirmation on those reinforcements. Ambassador Udino wants us to report back to the Citadel.
Oh.
The Council's massing a joint species fleet to deal with Saren and his geth.
Sounds good.
I knew they'd come around. Back to the Citadel, Joker. I want the Normandy at the head of that fleet.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of the Citadel,
good job, Shepard. Thanks to you, the Council's finally taking real action against Saren.
The Ambassador is correct. If Saren is foolish enough to attack the Citadel, as you believe, we will be ready for him.
Patrols are stationed at every mass relay linking Citadel space to the Terminus systems.
Not sure that's enough, though. See, there's this whole thing about Ilos.
You think a blockade's going to stop him? He's on Ilos looking for the conduit right now. What are you doing about that?
Ilos is only accessible to the Mu relay, deep inside the Terminus systems, Commander. If we send a fleet in there, the only possible outcome is full-scale war.
Now is the time for discretion, Commander. Saren's greatest weapon was secrecy. Exposed, he is no longer a threat. This is over.
I don't know about that. I think we should probably make sure that we investigate further and do what we can to stop him personally. See, other than that, I mean, we could say Conduit, the Reapers, I mean, all these things, right?
One ship going into the Terminus systems won't start a war. I can be discreet.
You detonated a nuclear device on Vermont.
Hey, that was necessary, okay?
Your style served you well in the Traverse, Commander. We recognize that. But Ilos requires a deft touch. We have the situation under control.
You sure about that? You trying to suggest that you have someone else on the job? Other than us? Someone you think can do the whole discreet thing more effectively? I don't know about that. What about the conduit?
Secrecy isn't his greatest weapon. The conduit is.
Saren is a master manipulator. The conduit is just a distraction from his real plan to attack the Citadel.
You sure about that? You sure that the conduit isn't somehow tied to that? Because it does seem as if, you know, his whole thing was that he was trying to get to the conduit as quickly as possible, and that was just a means to, presumably, attack the Citadel. And what about the Reapers?
Sovereign's the real threat. Saren's just a servant of the Reapers.
Only you have seen the Reapers, and then only in visions. We won't invade the Terminus systems because of a dream.
But again, you've seen Sovereign. Or somebody has, at least. We're not dreaming of the ship, it's just that, you know, we now have some evidence to suggest that, that ship is a Reaper. I mean, it basically told us that. We said, hey, you're a Reaper, right? And it said, yes, you see, that's a name that the Protheans gave us, but I suppose. But, you know, alright then.
If Saren finds the conduit, we're all screwed. We have to go to Ilos.
Ambassador Udina, I get the sense Commander Shepard isn't willing to let this go.
There are serious political implications here, Shepard. Humanity's made great gains thanks to you, but now you're becoming more trouble than you're worth.
You sure about that?
Bastard, you're selling us out!
It's just politics, Commander. You've done your job, now let me do mine. We've locked out all the Normandy's primary systems until further notice you're grounded.
Excuse me?
Are you insane? After everything I've done, you still don't believe me?
I think it's time for you and your team to leave, Commander. This no longer concerns you. The Council can handle this, with my help, of course.
Rude?
Commander, I've got a message from Captain Anderson.
How'd you know we were in here? I mean, surely Joker knows, right?
Are you spying on me, Joker?
No,
in the ship.
Just knew you were on the ship and figured I'd pass the message on. The captain said to meet him at Flux, that club down in the wards.
Alright, so, we're looking to pick a team here, and as you can see, Hayden is no longer an option and isn't exactly going to be an option for, well, forever. So, why don't we... Let's throw Tally in here. Not sure we've had her for quite some time, and Ashley I think we chose somewhat recently before Vermeer, and we were talking about how it seems like it's been a long time since we last used Garrus, so this might be the team we've waited the longest to use. Okay, so let's get out of here.
With exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
And let's take a look at our journal here. Because, we're racing against time, but we're significantly slowed down if our Normandy is grounded. We discovered the real enemy is not Saren, but a Reaper called Sovereign, a Saprian warship of tremendous power. Sovereign is using Saren as a tool to find the conduit, the key to unleashing a new Reaper invasion on the galaxy. That sounds like a pretty big threat. And we're supposed to meet with Anderson. Captain Anderson is waiting for you in the wards at Flux. He may be able to help you off the Citadel. So that is key, and then of course, well, we're not getting to the besieged base if, well, Normandy is currently grounded. Then, whoa. Okay, apparently it has been a very long time since we last used Garrus, because he has 8 points. And then Tally has 3. Okay, that's a whole lot. So, problem was that, at this point, we didn't have too many things that were jumping out at us as things that we really wanted to get on Garrus, I don't think. Got assault rifles, sniper rifles, and armor fully leveled up. Could go for assault training. I think that might have been what we had in mind, because, we could certainly get to Master Adrenaline Burst, which would give us a quicker, cooldown time for Adrenaline Burst, which, then resets all their cooldowns. So that kind of has a nice feedback loop of sorts. Otherwise, we're going for a little bit more damage with Decryption. Or we get to First Aid, and get far enough to unlock electronics, then that, of course, becomes an option. And that gives him the Overload ability and some additional shields. And Overload is a very nice ability to have, and the additional shields, certainly not bad either. The question here would just be, do we have enough points for this to actually become a factor? Because it'd be, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 before we can unlock electronics. And then we would still have 7, 8. We have at least a couple points we could throw in this. That might be worth doing. Because, like I said, I mean, Overload is great. And then, the problem is just that we're not, as you know, not a big fan of First Aid. And so that's a lot of skill points that we're spending just to get access to the actual ability that we want. But, you know, what's the opportunity cost here? It's tech damage, or a little bit of weapon damage and melee damage, and eventually the Master Adrenaline Burst. Or accuracy and a little bit more damage here. So it's basically a matter of, do you go more glass cannony, or do you get more defensive and just the general utility of having the Overload ability as well? And I think we probably do go for unlocking electronics. I think we do it. And advanced first aid as well, but sure. That's the key one that we want here. And then the real question is, for unlocking Overload, what do we want with our additional points here? Because if we reach level 60, then at best, that means we will get 4 more points. And we have 1 remaining, so that means we could get to advanced Overload if we got up to level 59 would actually be what we'd need to get to. And then we need to spend every point on Overload here, or on electronics here. I think that is worth doing. Again, not sure how feasible that actually is for that to happen, because at this point, we are high enough level that reaching subsequent levels is going to become quite a bit more difficult. But I think we try. And then Tally has 3 points. And then the good thing for her is that we can pretty easily just skip first aid altogether, because it's not needed to unlock any other abilities that we actually care about. So then, I think for her, we were going with the armor to get her the better shield boost abilities. So with 3 points, that gets us at least advanced shield boost and gets us within range of master shield boost if we dedicate just about all of her points to basic armor from here on out. It means that we would be foregoing, obviously, all of first aid, then some explosion damage for decryption, and she is, of course, our best tech specialist, so that is particularly significant for her. But that and marksman, so upgrading the extra damage ability on her pistol, I think for the most part we'd like to have her on her shotgun anyway, so I think we can live with this. And remember, she has a ridiculous amount of shields, so getting those shields back more quickly and easily I think is definitely helpful. And also just generally, as we upgrade these other ones that don't have the advanced shield boost, make her tankier is helpful as well, because she has a large shield pool, but when she does get hit, she may not have the most damage mitigation. Speaking of which, we actually have some significantly better gear for a few of these people, namely, interestingly, yeah, the Predator is actually higher shields, despite being a lower level, and higher tech protection, but look at that damage protection. 71 on the Colossus. I mean, that is humongous. So I think we do go for that, but there's something to be said for going with the Predator, which, I mean, if we had the Turian version at level 10, then that'd be pretty good, but 9 is still potentially worth considering if we know we are more likely to be taking tech/biotic damage. So then let's check with Tally, and I think for the most part, he is the most difficult person to get gear upgrades on, at least for armor, because of course, much like the Turian armor and Krogan armor, there's specifically Quarian armor here, but for whatever reason, it just seems like it's far less common than the other types. So, I mean, that's just a higher level version of her existing armor. So, it is an upgrade, but probably not, definitely not of the same caliber as what we're seeing on other
In
people.
a further development in the Eden Prime investigation, the Council has reportedly revoked the Spectre status of one of its operatives.
I hope you're referring to
While the
Saren.
operative has not yet been apprehended, a Council spokesman confirmed that corrective actions had been taken.